Good morning and welcome to Ralph's house. Yes, I'm sat in my car because I'll tell you where I am. I'm here again, right? I mentioned a couple of days ago that they didn't have one of the tool station didn't have one of the items. They never have it anyway, but it's listed on the catalogue, and it'll always say, you know, it's not available in store, so you have to go in and order it or whatever. But wait for this, right? Just made me laugh so much. Big box, right? That's how it was packaged. Now, that's what I came to order. It's these 25mm cable glands. I say they're going to go in the consumer unit. It's where all the cables enter the box. Okay, right? But you got this big box and all this that I'm meant to take home with me. I mean, what's that about? Why couldn't they just put a label on that? I mean, wouldn't it have made it easier? Oh well, not so much of a gripe, just perplexed. Tool station, come on, what's that about? Doesn't make sense. I don't know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Ralph, you're a bit touchy this morning. Yeah, I am. Because I also wanted some 50mm PVC trunking. It's for, you know, putting cables in, because I've got a lot of cables to run on the stairs. And I want to make a tidy job of it. Seems reasonable. Anyway, if you shop around online, the best deal on it is about £9 for 2 metres from Wickes. So I drive to Wickes. Have they got it? No, they've never got it. So, you know, it's like all these big stores. They say, we list hundreds of items. Yeah, well, they list them, but they don't have them in store. You know, you've got to sit and wait 3 days for the thing to arrive, or, in this particular case, the only nearest place is 20 miles away. I'm not going to be driving to go and get that. So that's my gripe over for in the morning. But apart from that, we're in a good mood here at Ralph's house. Loads to do. I've got to fit a temporary bathroom door because, as you probably know if you've been watching these videos, the plan is to fit a sliding door, which I will do. But because I'm doing all of this work on my own, all this painting, you know, all this carpentry, all these electrics, not plumbing, not interested in that. But because I'm doing it all on my own, I have to prioritise jobs. So, for instance, in this room, which is going to be my son's, the plan is to box in the boiler. But from my perspective, it's not a priority job for him to move in. Because that's something I can do, I don't know, when he's at college or school or whatever, and I can come in and box that for him. It's not going to stop him. What I've got to do is get this room painted out completely, all the skirting done. I'm going to be rubbing some of that down today. So the carpet fitters can come in around the 28th of this month, which isn't very long away. So I've got this room to finish, and the next one, and the box room. They've all got to be painted. Once the carpet's down, as long as I'm not doing any work like cutting out sockets, it's fine. I can just put down dust sheets to cover the carpet and just carry on working as normal. So, you know, that won't stop me moving in. So that, therefore, the sliding door, coming back to that, I've put that down the priority list, even though I've got the sliding track out there. I'm just going to fit a temporary door because, you know, I've got to think of the ladies that come here. Anyway, I had a fabulous lunch yesterday with somebody I hadn't seen for ages, long time. Lovely to see you, really was. So, right, this is Saturday morning and I'm talking far too much, so let's get on with some work. And it's going to be a little bit, well, it's going to be too tall now because it's now got tiles in it, and I've had to add this wooden threshold. I'm not even sure if that's going to be permanent, but at least it's the height of the tiles and it protects the edge getting broken, people standing on and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to have to take at least the depth of that off the bottom of that door, but I'll also need to remove the catch because the lock is no longer relevant now, because of course the tiles came out significantly. The lock was originally here, or the hole into which the lock went. So yeah, I'm going to have to take the lock off the door and disable that part of it, and it'll be just a push to and just push a weight behind it when you're in the bathroom. I think that's There we go, or I'll just put a magnetic catch on it. Just temporarily, until this sliding mechanism is up. You know, if I do that, that's a day out, and that's a day I lose on painting and everything else. Right, let's get the lock off, because I've got a lot of paint to scrape off the screws. Like all round here, for starters. The thing is, these days, you know, we use Posi-Drive or Phillips screws for almost just everything now. But in the old days, of course, it was all flathead, you know, slotted screws. And the thing is, when a screw's been on a long time, it's all covered in paint. You've got to use a smaller screwdriver and clear out that slot before you even contemplate putting a big screwdriver on it. Then throw your weight behind it and then give it a turn and it should go. That's the plan, but I've got 3 of these to do. And I've got these ones on the end to do as well. So, right, let's get all those cleared out and then we'll see if we can get this lock out. Because they do have these lovely little catches, you see what I mean? But they aren't going to be relevant on that bathroom door, because ultimately I've got to change the door if it's going to be a slider, like I say. But I think I just need to get this lock off completely, because otherwise it's going to be scratching the tiles and that sort of stuff. So right, let's get these screws out. Put a bit of weight on it. There she goes. So that one started. The trouble is, if you chew the heads off these, well, what are you going to do then? What, angle grind it off? I think not. So, freshly started. I'll clean these slots out. And I'll give this a go. Yeah. Also, the good thing about this screwdriver, see, it's got square sides on the, well, it doesn't focus very well, but it's got square sides on the shank. So that means you could put mould grips or even a spanner on that to turn it while you put some weight on it. Good tip if you're moving old screws. That's those 2 out. Look, you see what I mean? That is probably paint, well, from at least the 1940s. Got to chip all that off and just, well, use a sharp screwdriver and get it off, or some sort of chisel. Just tap the paint around and clear it out, and definitely clean out the slot. Not handle it. Look how thick the paint is on that door. That would take some sorting out, wouldn't it? Yeah, this is going to be fun stuff. Anyway, at least with the lock off, the door won't be hindered by the door jamming anyway. Right, I need to get this door flat and cut off whatever the depth is of the wood that I put on that threshold. I need to cut that off the bottom, and then in theory this door should just screw straight on back where it came from. Now, I've reinstated the bathroom door as a temporary measure, but I need to point out, particularly to certain persons in Peopleton and indeed Pershore, that they will now be able to be in privacy. Yes, so I've just put a door on. My sister kept nagging me about this, and she's right. So anyway, I took that lock off. I've taken the latch out, so it's just purely for shutting it, just temporarily. And when you go in, ladies, you just push the door to, right? Look up, it's not too high up. Just push the little bolt all the way to the top, and that's it. It's all private. Just trying to catch all these bits I've missed. It's a bit annoying really, this paint, because you can't really tell whether you've covered it or not until it's dry, because it just goes grey when it's wet, and then you come back the next day and it's gone all white. But yeah, just keep doing bits every time I get a chance, get the paint put out and do it again. But this ceiling's fabulous. I'm really pleased with that. And my other half said, oh, they'll need overboarding. I wasn't convinced. And actually I was right in the end, because the paper came off really easy. And the ceilings are in excellent condition, considering how old they are, nice and flat. Took the paint nice and easy. And certainly a whole lot better than paper in the ceiling. Just paint it. Job done, isn't it? Thank goodness we saw the end of Artex. I've just taken that half an hour to trying to tap the paint on this door, and what I've discovered is, I don't know, it's not easy to see on this, but it looks like in the past, it had a coat of gloss on it, and there was no prep done because it's just peeling off. I've tried it with sandpaper and it comes off reasonably quickly, but I think it's a bit quicker with the electric sander, so that's what I've been using. But look at it, look. Yeah. I mean, even if I don't paint them, if I can get the paint off them ready for painting, they can be painted at any time. But I ain't going to be making this mess when I've got carpets in, so I think if I do any other doors, they'll have to come off, be done downstairs, painted, and then brought up when they're finished. Sensible. Oh, well, see how the paint's still not drying. Well, press on. Right, I need a good tidy up. Yeah, electric sander seems to be the quickest, albeit noisiest way to get the paint off the skirting because it's very flaky. You know, I'm never going to get a perfect finish. It's old skirting, but I can get it reasonable. Yeah, I don't know if you remember back one of the early videos. There's a socket there, and it's all filled up. With a bit of luck, you'll never know it was even there. Yeah, that's good. Well, that's it for today from Ralph's house. Well, not for me it isn't. I've got a fair bit to do. A lot of sweeping up, putting all my tools in a pile and getting them all ready because I'll be back tomorrow, of course. But it'll be quiet stuff. I'm not sure what I can do quietly, but I'll think of something. Thank you very much for watching Ralph's house. Remember, like below. If you see that thumbs up and thumbs down below on your phone or your tablet or your PC, do the thumbs up one. It helps. The more of those I get, the better. Feel free to leave a comment. I do enjoy your comments. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. See you tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.